Hey everybody, I'm Tammy. I'm the Siberian Wind. I'm glad you're here today. If you guys are having trouble hearing me today, let me know. I haven't done a lot of moving things around, but I'm not quite sure if my microphone is set the way I want it to be set. So if you guys do have trouble hearing me, let me know. Let me pick up what I just dropped because it's pins and I don't want Puppy walking over them. So bear with me just a second. Okay, got them. Magnetic pin cushions are great, except when they're not so magnetic. So how are you guys doing today? I see Donnell is in the chat. I see Katie's in the chat. Thank you both for being here. You can drop your link in the chat by just doing exclamation selfie. I normally do have that working, so it should be going today. It should be functional. Yesterday I worked on the Elizabeth Hartman pattern. It is still up on the wall. What I've gotten done so far. Let's see. There we go. All right. Danielle says, sounds perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate it. Today I definitely need the extra help. So that is a blessing. Thank you. So this is the straight across center piece to the Elizabeth Hartman. The only thing I've got left to do is the one little section like this at the end of the yellow that I'm adding, and then that section will be done. And so I'll just have the bottom and the top sections to go, and that will be done. I am feeling a little bit under the weather today, so just bear with me, especially if I repeat myself. It's going to be likely that I'll repeat myself or stutter a lot today. What we're going to work on today is going to be the Prismatic Star. So I did pull that back out, so I'm going to show you guys what I'm working on with it. Let me grab the camera, and we are going to see how well this camera is going to do. I've got some technical difficulties going on with it, so we're gonna use it until it doesn't work. Hi Maritza, glad you are here. You can also drop your channel in the chat if you have not already done so, or don't know that you can. In my channel, you always can. It's going to be exclamation selfie. I do not mind. Go ahead and self promote just a little bit. Bear with me, my dog is needing a little bit of attention getting. All right, so this Prismatic Star, this is what we are working on today. So if you guys saw this before, I actually had all of the diamonds done, and I had the border strips already on it. And then I discovered that it wasn't lining up real nice the way I wanted it to. So I took all my border strips off. So these are my diamond sections and my new border fabric. My previous border fabric was a white batik fabric. And while it was very pretty and very soft, it was not as sturdy of a fabric. This is actually bleached Kona. So when you go to buy Kona fabric, you can buy it. You can buy white Kona. You can also buy Kona Snow, which is kind of a little bit of an off-white. Or you can buy the bleach, and this is the bleach. So it is as white as it's going to get. So you can kind of see, especially when I catch a little bit of sunlight, it is just like shining. Hi, Glenda. Glad to see you here. Thank you for checking in. So what we are going to do today is we are going to start attaching border strips to the Prismatic Star pieces. And I do apologize if this camera is not going to function properly today. I already see it kind of giving a little bit of color disturbance and things like that. So I will keep an eye on it. So when you put all of these jelly roll strip pieces together and then you cut them apart, you are going to end up with some bias edges. So on this strip piece, this edge right here and this edge right here are my bias pieces. I am not going to attach to those today. All I'm going to attach today is the non-bias sides. And all I'm going to be doing, and I'll bring you guys over the machine so you can watch me do that, is I'm going to be attaching the strip here like this, and I will attach a strip to the other side as well. And these are going to be on the non-bias side. So as I pick up these diamonds, there are 24 of them, I believe, or 16 plus 8, so I think that's 24. Yeah, if I'm doing math today, I think it's 24. So I'm going to do as many as I've got strips for. I've got enough strips for 24 sides, so that's going to be a top and a bottom. But again, I'm going to do all the non-bias sides today. I did go ahead and prep all of this. Let me see how well I can show. All right, the cameras are working at least for this. I do have little threads left over from where I seam ripped all of this. And I have also taken and pressed this pretty darn well. I did add a lot of starch to it, so you can see I can just hold it up and like weave it a little bit and it holds its shape. It would not have done that before this. So it is going to hold up. So hi, Constance. I think it's the first time I've seen you in the chat. Glad you are here. Thank you very, very much. And again, you guys, if this camera does start malfunctioning, I do apologize. I know kind of what the issue might be, so I will get that worked out. I was going to bring you guys over and show you something. Okay, let me grab it. In case you guys have not seen it in a while, because it has been a little bit since I've worked on it, I'm going to bring the pattern picture over so you guys are seeing that. So it is Prismatic Star. It was originally done in a Hoffman Bally Pop, which is a Hoffman batik. And it is a Quiltworks pattern. I did add the link to the description. So if you want to purchase this pattern, it is still available. My pattern is prior to 2018. So my pattern will be slightly different than the pattern you see, but it will do the same quilt. So it'll be the same effect. It may just be a slightly different size or slightly different steps or slightly different instructions or something. The papers are different for the post-2018 pattern. Mine is prior to 2018. This is just something I had hanging around. All right, so let me bring you guys over. I see everybody saying hi to everybody else. I am loving this. This is awesome. So how is everyone doing on this Sunday? It is Sunday today, right? Yeah. My thing says it's Sunday. So we're going to go with it. We're going to go that it is Sunday. Hi, Andrea. Glad you are here. Thank you for joining in. So, again, today we are going to be attaching side pieces again to the Prismatic Star pieces. Hi, Don. Glad you are here. Thank you. Thank you for saying hello. We are going to attach these strip pieces to the Prismatic Star pieces. And I'm going to leave a lot hanging over. So one thing I'm going to do differently, if you guys, I don't know how many of you followed before when I was doing this pattern before I took it all out, I am going to press the center. So I'm going to find my center point and I am going to line that up with the center seam here in my block. So I'm going to line that up. Just to make this more simple than the way I was doing it last time. And I see Quilting in the Man Cave. Howdy, I'm running late. Sorry. What is the colorful fabric line? Very good question. This is Magic Gems by Wilmington Prints. That is the line that these jelly roll strips came out of. I actually had 2 jelly roll strips, or 2 jelly roll packs. And this pattern requires 48 strips, and my jelly roll packs only had 40 strips. So I used 1 whole jelly roll pack plus 8 strips to get the diamonds. The sashing that I'm putting on is a bleached white from Kona. Hi, Debbie. Glad you are here. Thank you for joining in the chat. Oh, I am glad you all are here this evening. This is like a great turnout. I did not expect everybody to show up tonight. This is kind of very flattering. Thank you. I am so excited, you guys. I am at 200 as of before this broadcast. Hi, Charlotte. Glad you are here. Before this broadcast started, I was at 296 subscribers. You guys, that is almost 3/5 of the way to having the 500 subscribers so that YouTube will start paying me. Not that I'm expecting YouTube to pay me much from what everybody else has said. So, but you know, that's kind of like one of those little goal things that a lot of content creators go for. So I'm kind of glad that you guys are putting me up there. I really appreciate it. 295. Okay, so maybe one person unsubscribed. I'm fine with that. Oh, it's been ages since you saw Katie, Donnell, Glenda, and Debbie. Yes, you have. You've either missed my chats or you guys are just keep passing each other. we're all ships in the night, you know. That's what we're gonna go with. We're gonna go with ships in the night, passing each other left and right. So I actually just went. Yes, good question, Charlotte. Katie, how is your voice doing? The masses, the inquiring masses, want to know. For those of you who do not know, Katie is the Greenland quilter, and so she comes live to us from Greenland, and she just finished up a trip to the United States. She went to QuiltCon, which was held, I want to say, Raleigh, North Carolina, somewhere around there, somewhere in that area. I did not follow it that closely. That is my fault. I did not get a chance to travel to it. But Katie did just get back to Greenland, and she would have gone live yesterday, but her voice was not going to cooperate with her. So we still are loving and waiting for her to be able to talk to us and for us to be able to hear her voice tell us what all is going on. Especially when you travel, there's always that chance to pick up bugs, and she just picked up the wrong one. Oh, I love it. So, all right. So I see everybody's still saying hi to everybody. Oh, like, okay. So my channel is the reunion page. Okay. I can live with that. I can live with that. I'm glad you all are here. That's so sweet of you guys. Katie says, I'm still squeaking, but it seems somewhat better this evening. There we go. So Katie sounds like she's on the mend from what she's telling us. We won't know until we actually can hear the squeak. So you guys, I went to a presentation today, and I am a member of the local Quilt of Valor group here in Casper, Wyoming. So I was at the presentation today, and it's always such a blessing to be able to honor our veterans with something that provides them the warmth that they've provided us by defending our freedom. So I really do enjoy being a part of that. However, I will say I'm going to have to reenact my hi, Melissa. Glad you were here. I haven't seen you in a couple rounds. So I'm going to have to reenact my no hugs, no close contact for a little bit. My immune system is starting to panic on me and send me all kinds of weird sensory things. Debbie says, Tammy, we follow each other around and we support each other. Right now, we're here for you, girl. Thank you so much, Mama Debbie. I really do appreciate that. You are just such a sweetheart. I love watching your stuff because you always, you do keep it as real as it comes. So I appreciate that. Charlotte says, like tons of videos from your trip, Katie. Yes, Katie has been doing all that editing. Oh, Teresa, I am so glad you are here. Thank you. You know, we were all sitting, watching, and waiting on pins and needles, and asking about you, and wondering where you were. We were all very worried about you, Teresa. So I'm glad you are here. Glenda says she's finally getting some quilting done since the show and tell. Awesome. Show and tell is so awesome, isn't it? I loved being able to share what you were able to accomplish, Glenda. That was awesome. If you guys did not watch last Tuesday's video, last Tuesday I did Sew and Tell. So any of the subscribers, if you are a subscriber to my channel, obviously because you're chatting, you can do exclamation FB or exclamation group in the in the chat here at YouTube, and that will give you a link to the Facebook group. I would be more than honored to have you each in there. It is a private group, so whatever you post in the Facebook group does not get published anywhere unless you say it can. So unless you go Sew and Tell, everything that you publish stays in that group. It is a private group. Teresa says, sorry to worry, everyone. Glad to be back. Oh, we are so glad to have you. I caught a little bit of your live earlier. I couldn't stay on for long, but I was so glad to see you and, hear your voice again and all of that. You are a very, very well-loved content creator, Teresa. And again, as well as I've said before earlier in the chat, if you are a content creator, whenever you come to my channel, go ahead and do exclamation selfie, and it will post a link to your YouTube page so that other people can go check out your content as well. So you get a little bit of self-promotion just for coming to hang out with me. I do not mind it. As long as you're not doing it every 2 seconds, we are good. And Nightbot will love you for it. And there we go. Andrea got the exclamation FB. Thank you for sharing that, Andrea. That helps me out a lot. I know Andrea is already a group member. But yeah, you are definitely welcome to come join the Facebook group. I will get all the requests approved as I get to them. And let me make sure I do have it up and running. So if you guys do put in a member request, I should be able to see it today while we're on the chat, so you know you've gotten in. I do have my super secret project being posted up there. As I make more progress on it, I have gotten quite a bit done recently, and I will have a lot more coming up probably within the next couple of days, because I'll be sewing on it again during this week. I will have quite a bit of time to get in on it. So we're going to see how far I can get with that. But yeah, so I was at a Quilts of Valor presentation today, and one of the quilts that I made was presented. I did not know it was going to be. I had no advance warning, but that's okay. I didn't have, any, it wasn't reserved for a specific veteran. So it was just reserved for any veteran that qualifies for Quilts of Valor. So one of my quilts was gifted today, and it was nice to be able to be there and see the face of the gentleman who received it and know that he is going to be warmed by that quilt. So it was a great experience. I just think I need to go back to my no hugs policy for the next couple of months or so. That way I can breathe and not have migraines and all of that. Yes, absolutely, Quilting in the Man Cave. Thank you for dropping your link in there. Andrea says, it is beautiful, super secret though, so if you want to see it, you join the group. You are absolutely right, Andrea. It is that super secret. It cannot be shared because the person who is getting it is part of my, or I will put it this way, they do watch my channel. So I cannot divulge who it is. However, if that request comes through and it is for that person, of course, they won't get it. So I do have a little bit of leverage there. And if at any time you are making a super secret project for someone else that is in the Facebook group, just let me know or do an anonymous post. And we will make sure that you can share your work if you want to share it in the group if you don't think that they'll know that it was you. And we will do an anonymous post so that you can still share your work with others without worrying about somebody finding out about their super secret gift in advance. We are going to do a couple things Tuesday. Tuesday coming up, we are going to do a little poll. I am going to create another. Melissa just asked to join. Yes, absolutely. It also came through. Let me go refresh my page. All right, you are in, Melissa. Thank you. So on Tuesday, we are going to have a poll, and it will only be for those who are on the live. So if you are not on live on Tuesday, you won't get to participate. You know, it's not going to be a major big deal or whatever, but you're going to have to put in the comments what your choice is for the poll. So go ahead and start thinking about it. If I were to create a pattern specifically using either jelly rolls or fat quarters, it's exclamation FB, Sue Ellen, not question mark FB. And if Andrea or somebody else, if you want to type it in there, I do have my keyboard. If Sue Ellen does not get that very quickly, so that way we can get her in. So I will be creating a pattern. It will be the next pattern because the last one was the Irish chain with a twist baby quilt. And the next pattern will either be using jelly rolls or fat quarters. So you guys get to tell me on Tuesday whether you would rather have a jelly roll pattern or you would rather have a fat quarter friendly pattern. So I may bring in, thank you Andrea, appreciate it. I may bring in additional fabrics to complement whatever jelly roll or 2.5-inch strips that I pick, or I may bring in additional yardage to complement whatever fat quarters. But I will make a pattern that is either jelly roll or fat quarter friendly. So on Tuesday, I want to hear what your feedback is. So I want to know which one you'd rather see done. And that will be what we go with, okay? So I do have another baby quilt that will be coming up, but it will not be one of those patterns. It will not be the jelly roll or the fat quarter pattern. I do have a pattern already planned for that child. It has been kind of an in the works kind of thing. Hi, it's Kennedy. She says, hello, Alabama, and hello to everyone else. Awesome. Glad you are here. So, yeah, be thinking about what you want to see. If you want to see jelly roll or fat quarter, and I will either do it as a lap quilt or I will do it as a twin. So it will be a bigger quilt than the Irish chain quilt. But it'll be a decent size. It won't be, super small. It won't be baby size. But I can try to also include instructions if you want to make it shorter or smaller or whatever. Hi, Jean. Glad you are here. Thank you for joining in the chat. I appreciate it. So I do have an inkling, you guys, what I'm going to do for the 6-month Sew and Tell project, or what 6-month Sew and Tell giveaway, and it will be something I have made. So you guys will get something handmade by me, of course, machine made, but you guys will get something custom made just for that giveaway for the 6-month Sew and Tell. And we'll keep that as a tradition. So every 6 months, when we do the 6-month Sew and Tell giveaway, it will be something that I have had my hands in and have made. Whether it's a wall hanging, whether it's a lap quilt, throw quilts, whether it's a table runner, whatever it is, whatever I end up making, is what will be part of the giveaway. And you never know, I might throw in a couple of things with it. I specialize, sweet. I gotta have y'all keep guessing, right? All right, so yesterday we ended up talking about old wives' tales and home remedies because somebody was sick, and we were talking about tea and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's change it up. We're not going to talk about weather because it's snowing outside, and I know it's not snowing all across the country. But it is snowing outside. Let's see. What do we want to talk about today? So, I know we've talked about favorite colors the other day too. Okay, here's a question for you guys. So, if you make a quilt, are you making the majority of your quilts to give away, or are you making the majority of your quilts to keep? Are they for you, or are they for somebody else? Almost 300 is super awesome. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. It's Kennedy. Yes, I am so excited. YouTube tells me I have to have 500 to start earning money. So, I'm not upset. Not upset. We will see how it goes. So yeah, do you make all of your quilts with the intention of they are being given away, and do you know who they're being given away to? Or do you make the majority of your quilts for you to keep or for your family to keep? Your close family or what have you. Like, is it staying in the family or is it giving it away? Donnell says give away. I made one for myself already of batik fabric with sewing notions. Awesome. Andrea says give away. Out of the hundreds I have made, I have yet to keep one. Oh no, Andrea. You need to keep one. You need to have that one. I have one that I made as a mystery quilt. I went to Paducah, Kentucky. I took a class from Kimberly Imo. If you ever have the chance to take a class from her, she is phenomenal. Hilarious teacher. Love her to death. Jean says, giveaway. I don't have any I've made. Oh no. She said, but this year I'm going to make one for me. Yes, there you go. And it's Kennedy agrees. You need one, Andrea. Rayanne says, oh, Rayanne, good. Glad you're in the chat. I have only 2 quilts out of all the ones that I have done. Oh, goodness. Well, at least you have a couple. But yeah, you need 1 quilt. So I took that mystery quilt class from I just had her name, Kimberly Imo. And it was my first time ever doing a mystery quilt. And she made it so much fun. But it was definitely one of those projects I came home and I had a UFO because I still had a lot to go with it. Donnell says, Andrea, you should make a lap quilt for yourself with Nellie for on the couch. Absolutely. Hi, Chloe. Hello, all, she says. Debbie says, gifted and family. I made my cups quilt for me. I have 2 more that are for me. Yes, absolutely. So I have made more quilts for my husband than I have made for myself. Loretta, hey, glad you're here. She says, love my lap quilts. Yes, that is what I'm talking about. So the quilt that I made is gray and it's got purple and it's got some batiks. It was my first time getting to use batiks. I was so excited about using batiks. I had to just keep that one for myself. But I made it, and then I finally decided that I wasn't actually going to get it quilted by myself. Like, I wasn't going to do it myself, so I sent it off and paid for quilting by check. The best decision I ever made for that quilt because I could not decide what to quilt on it. So it came back to me and it sat unbound until last year. So it sat for a while. It sat since at least 2019, something like that. And then it just got bound last year. So I used that. It was sitting at my massage chair. Now it's sitting at my chair in the living room that I watch TV at. So that is one of my quilts for me. I've got another one that I'm going to quilt that'll be for me as well. Jean says, gifted, family, and donated. And Sue, I'll go get you in there real quick. I see your request has come through. There we go. You are in. And Andrea, I was collecting bee and sunflower fabric for a quilt for myself, but lost it all in a flood a few years back. I'm starting to collect fat quarters for one for myself. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you need to decide one for yourself. Now I will say the mystery quilt that I made with Kimberly Imo, I would potentially give that one away. The one that I am waiting to quilt that is for myself, I am not giving that one away ever. A late quilter friend of mine was the one who gave me the fabrics for it. And so even if it's not the most beautiful quilt in the world, it will stay mine because it is about the memories for that one. Donnell says, hey, everyone, gotta run. Hope everyone has a safe and wonderful week. Big hugs. Thank you, Donnell. Have a safe week as well. I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday if you can make it. I know that's a big ask, but you know, you gotta try, right? Oh, I feel like I missed one somewhere. Let's see, did I? I don't think I did. Andrea says, see you later, Donnell. Have a blessed evening. Charlotte, my first quilt was donated to a silent auction for a little girl fighting cancer, and it was sold for $500. Wow. She said, I've gifted quilts and sold a few. That's awesome, Charlotte. Jean says, I've been collecting fabric for a Bargello for my bed. That is a good use for some collection. Bargellos are gorgeous. I actually, when I ran a sewing machine store, I taught quilting. I was the only quilter. Everyone else there made clothing or home decor. I was the only quilter, and I was still fairly new to quilting, so I have a lot of mess ups from back then. But in teaching the quilting, I definitely wanted to teach techniques versus teaching like a pattern per se. And I taught a Bargello bag. And I do still have it. I will have to find my Bargello bag. It is not Bargello all the way across, but it was using Bargello scraps, like pieces and parts from my Bargellos. So I do have that somewhere. I know I've seen it recently, but it is not in here. So I will have to go look for that. All right, so let's see. What else? One of the UFOs I'm going to be starting is machine embroidery. How many of you guys have machine embroidery options on your machines? And how many of you actually use your machine embroidery? I'm not going to, shove machine embroidery down anyone's throat, so I don't want anybody to think that. Hi, Joyce. Glad you are here. She says, hi, Tammy and everyone. Thank you for joining in the chat today, Joyce. Glad to see you. I say that as I'm looking down. I apologize. Yes, Maritza, definitely drop your selfie. Andrea says, eclipse tomorrow. Yes. So I told my husband, I said, out of all the days, the sun has to take a Monday off, really? And he didn't find that quite as funny as I did. But I found it funny. I know there's a lot of people who are taking tomorrow off, and there's school disturbance and things like that. Debbie says, nope, no embroidery, not me, nope. Well, see, I can make it simple, Debbie. Andrea says, don't have, I wish I did. Awesome, yeah. It is definitely different to have. There's a lot you can do without it, but then there's a lot that you can do with it. Now, I will tell you, when I was back selling sewing machines, I actually had a gentleman embroiderer come in, and he was using just free motion on a regular sewing machine, and he just needed an upgraded sewing machine that would handle everything he was throwing at it. But he was thread painting his own patches and his own motorcycle patches and all of this other stuff. It was just absolutely phenomenal work. I am not enough of an artist to pull that off. All right, Jean says that is one machine I wish I could have, but no way to afford one. I understand that. Sue Ellen Quilt says giveaway. I do not have the funds for that yet. I am on a limited income. I wish I could. Yeah, I don't have how did I do that? Is that on the bias? I sewed it to the wrong side, you guys. I wasn't going to sew to the bias today, but I did. Okay, we're going to leave it. I messed it up. So, all of my strips so far, you guys, are coming out like this. So, my strips are being sewn to the non-bias edges. The last strip I did is opposite. It is completely opposite. It is the opposite sides. So it should have been the other two sides. But, you know, we'll work with it. This was my choice to do it this way, so it is what it is, right? Loretta says have a brother embroidery. Not bad. Not bad at all. My first embroidery machine that I owned was a brother. I believe it was a wasn't a PE maybe? I don't know which version it was, but it was a brother 400 something 400. And it had like a little 4x4 hoop. So, yep, Charlotte, oops, yes. Oops is definitely right. Gotta have an oops. Gotta have an oops day. All right. That feels like it's bias, but it's not. Okay. That's how I screwed the last one up. It didn't feel like it was bias. But it was. I starched these things, you guys. So I laid them face down. So that was the side I was seeing. I pressed them, then I starched them heavily. Then I pressed them, getting all the starch dry. And then flipped them, then starched them again, and pressed them again. So these are about as starched as they can get. But it was much needed. Much needed to be starched. Because otherwise they were going to stretch and twist and all of that like they did before. So this way they're not going to stretch and twist. We all do, yes, we all do have oopses. That's why I have Jackie. I did find her, so she's not buried anymore. So Tuesday, you guys, we're going to do the voting for whether you guys want a fat quarter friendly project or a jelly roll friendly project. Constance says, my wish list includes the Stellaire upgraded combo machine. Awesome. Yeah, I have a wish list, but my wish list is expensive. So my wish list is like way off in the distance. If I did not already own this one with the embroidery, that would not be it wouldn't even be on my wish list yet. Just because I have other things I want first. But I do have the project because I already started it. And I don't know if I used this machine for it or if it was I think it was before I owned this machine. So this project that I started was before this machine was in my life. So that's how old that project is. Loretta says this one is invoice 17500 because is invoice 17500B. It works for me. Okay, that works. Is that the model number? Or is that how much it costs? I know that this one with the embroidery, I think runs about 10 grand. If I'm not mistaken. Hi, Fallon. Glad you are here. I called you guys the other night, I think. My days are running together, so bear with me. So, yeah, today what I'm working on is that Prismatic star. I'm going back to it to get it all put together. Fallon, I do have to say I love my 14-inch slide lock, But if I'd known you guys were going to be putting it in clear, I would have totally waited because I love the clear ruler. That looks awesome. I know it's got like a little bit of a tint. It is a model number. Awesome, Loretta. I would have to look that one up to see more information about it. All of my machines now are Bernina except for my long arm, and my long arm doesn't really have a model number. Thank you, Fallon. Appreciate it. Fallon said beautiful. I know I am. I know I am. I know you're talking about the quilt. So I did work on I know you can only see the purple and a little bit of the back of the yellow right now, but I did work on the Elizabeth Hartman yesterday. And tomorrow I'm going to pull my long arm out and actually get to quilting. So I'm going to start some quilting because I only have 4 quilts that need to be quilted. Oh, correction, I have 5 that need to be quilted before I already basted. So I need to actually get working on that. So I'm going to work on that. The Stellaris are around 10 grand. Okay, yeah. The bigger and more beautiful the machine, the more expensive it runs. I do know that. I do. And I have very beautiful, expensive taste. I do know. I will see. I will go looking at my embroidery kit patterns. Like the designs that I've got. And if you guys want to purchase, if you have an embroidery machine, if you guys want to purchase the embroidery packs to copy what I'm doing, I will try to make sure that that's available if it is a pattern you can still buy. I'm not going to do it on a live, like I'm not going to do the embroideries on lives for the whole time because that gets boring really fast. Jean says, I have one machine, 23 years old, a brother. Yes, I do remember you saying that because your machine has some life to her. You know, guys, I did this again. I am doing the non-bias. And I don't know how come I keep doing it. I'm doing the bias side. Not the way I wanted to go. Constance says my only machine is a smaller Juki. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. Fallon says I only have expensive taste when it comes to quilting related things. Clothes and stuff, nope. Yeah, I'm like you, Fallon. That is clothes and... Okay, so I was given an invitation to go on an event this past weekend. Was it this past weekend? Yeah, it was Friday. I was given an invitation to go on this event, and like they were giving out the dress code, and I like was showing my husband. I was like, okay, well I could wear this, and he's like, no, that is still not acceptable. So we had to go clothes shopping, and for me, clothes shopping has never been my thing. I remember as a teenager, I had a full-on meltdown about shoes for an event for a formal. And I mean, it wasn't even a prom or anything like that. It was just something where, my shoes needed to match my dress, and they needed, it was a, black tie formal kind of thing. And so I needed to have shoes that matched. And the shoes were the breaking point. Glenda says, hello to anyone I missed. No worries, Glenda. We are all missing somebody today. It is one of those days for me. I was worried because I put the we're gonna go live, and I'll be on at such and such time, and I'll be on at 5. We'll be on time, and then my body decides, nope, you're done. So I have taken medicine to get back functional, but oh, you guys, there are some days. But yeah, so I will be honest on my clothes shopping since Fallon brought it up. It is a very, very good topic. So I have 4 pairs 3 or 4, but I believe I have 4 pairs of jeans that are in my current size, and they are all the same exact style, cut, and everything. Like, I think the color is even exactly identical. Hi, Lisa. Glad you are here. Lisa's Quilting Corner just dropped in. And Lisa, if you have a YouTube channel, same for Fallon, you guys can drop in exclamation selfie in the chat, and that will send everybody a link to click to go get your channel and subscribe or watch your content. Obviously, once my video's over, you gotta wait until then. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that way. But I do not mind the self-promotion. You guys are always welcome to do that. I do not mind it at all. That is how we grow, and that is how we stay a community. But yeah, so I have 4 pairs of jeans. They are all identical. And so I could be wearing the same pair of jeans that I wore yesterday, and nobody would know unless I spilled something on them. So you might know that I was wearing the same jeans from yesterday if, like, I'm wearing the ones that have, like, the frayed, like, hem or whatever, or if I've got a stain from where I, spilled food and was messy, like normal. If there was anything like that on there, that's how you would know that I was wearing the same jeans. Otherwise, then you would never know. Lisa's Quilting Corner. I plan to have a channel, but haven't posted anything yet. Are you the Lisa I'm thinking of? Exciting. Okay. Yeah, if Lisa does get her Quilting Corner up and running, if she's the Lisa I'm talking about, that I'm thinking about, then yeah, we are going to have you come on to chat. Lisa is a fun soul. Love her to death. Absolutely love her. My dog just stretches. Okay, so we've talked about machines and machine embroidery. What is the most expensive item of clothing you own? And why? Why is that the most expensive item of clothing you own? And it could be wedding dresses. It could be, if you own it and it is in your closet where you have access to it, what is it and why do you own it? Why do you own an expensive item of clothing, and what is your justification? I mean, you can say what your justification of expensive is. I saw a video the other day, and it's one of the creators that I watch frequently, and she recently had a baby. Well, she was talking about making sure she grabs her $30,000 Stanley Cup, and it's the little cup she got to drink out of while she was at the hospital. She's calling it her $30,000 Stanley Cup. And, that's probably going to be the most expensive cup she ever owns. Because she got it from the hospital. They charge outrageous prices for everything. So let me think. What is my most expensive piece of clothing? I mean, I own expensive shoes. Jean says I don't own anything expensive. See, I think that's my problem too. Like, most of my clothes, if I buy something, I don't buy the expensive stuff. Like, I mean, I don't buy most anything expensive. I guess probably my most expensive piece of clothing, the most expensive money I've spent on a piece of clothing that is actual clothes, not shoes, would probably be my coat. Now, I have a wool coat that's put up that I could wear, but it's more business suit kind of coat. It's not, everyday get dirty and like have a dog jump on you kind of coat. It is, you dress nice to go to a fancy restaurant for Valentine's Day kind of coat. It's one of those kinds of coats. But I think I spent maybe $100. Joy says I don't own anything expensive yet. See, I think my coat cost like $100. I mean, that is expensive to me. I mean, The purse that I have, it was my husband's choice that I own, a fancy purse. But it took him, we've been married 7 years, and it took him six to convince me to get a purse that qualified in his category as fancy. I am the make my purse or buy it at Walmart. Andrea says I do not own anything expensive either, Joyce. I mean, it's crazy, you know? I mean, we're spending okay. Here's why I think it's crazy. Because we all are like a lot of us are like this, where we don't spend any money on ourselves, right? I would rather spend 5 grand and plus on a piece of sewing equipment. But you could not get me to spend that much on an article of clothing. You could not get me to spend that much. I am as simple as they come when it comes to my clothes. I mean, it takes everything to convince me for an expensive ring, too. Fallon says, I have some expensive purses. My husband likes buying me purses. I really like them. I do probably look funny with a $5 shirt, 10-year-old jeans, and a fancy purse. Oh, I am so guilty of that. I am so guilty. I mean, I don't wear sweatpants or yoga pants or any of that kind of stuff all the time. But, like, I wear, maybe my jeans are $20 a pop, maybe. And they're going to last me like 4 years. So they average out to $5 a year for a pair of jeans. But then I wear expensive shoes because they're the comfortable shoes that I can find that don't hurt my feet. And then I carry an expensive purse because, again, my husband picked out my purse. He picked out something fancy for me. But the rest of my clothes are like dime store cheap. I mean, I do not shop expensive. It is crazy. Joy says, if it's not under $20, I don't buy it. I'm right with you. I mean, I think this shirt was like $5 maybe when I bought it. I bought it on clearance. I didn't buy it when it was in season. I always buy it after it's out of season. Andrea says, I am retired and the only place I go to is church and Walmart. I wear jeans and t-shirt to both places. Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of why when I got invited to the event on Friday, I really didn't have anything acceptable that matched their dress requirements because I am normally in jeans. Like 3 times out of 4, I am in jeans. And if I'm not in jeans, I'm in leggings. And I'm only in leggings again because I'm not in jeans. Or maybe all my jeans are dirty or something. Fallon says, same. I would spend my money on a sewing machine, fabric bundle, or thread. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely spend it on a machine. Absolutely. Charlotte says, the most expensive thing I own isn't clothing or shoes. My purses I make. Guess it would be my sewing machine. Yes. Absolutely. So, here's something to think about. So, we spend so little money on our clothes and, we don't buy the expensive stuff because that's not where our hearts are. But we spend the money on the sewing machines because that brings us so much joy. And our sewing machine fits no matter what size we are. Our clothes do not necessarily do the same. And then we make quilts that are worth $500, $800,000 plus dollars while we're wearing $5 Walmart clothes. Lisa's Quilting Corner. Most of my clothes are Liz Claiborne from JCPenney. They just fit my shape best. I have lots of Coach purses from the outlet. I do have a pair of Christian Louboutin shoes, but bought those used. I don't even know how to say if I'm saying Christian Louboutin right. I don't even know. Love it. Joy says jeans or sweatpants. Sue Ellen, why 4 pairs? Excellent question. Okay, so especially when I was working, I could wear jeans at my workplace. I did not have to dress fancy. I was on the phone talking to customers, so people didn't see my face, and they didn't even, like, what you guys see, they didn't even see that. Like, it was all audio. It was 100% audio. So nobody but my coworkers saw what I dressed like, And we had coworkers that would come in sweats every day. So, it was not that professional. You weren't supposed to be in sweats, but did they do it? Yes, they did. Um, it was supposed to be business casual, so I would wear jeans and a polo or jeans and like a button up. Like I would dress up my shirt, but you were gonna see me in jeans. 9 times out of 10, you were gonna see me in jeans. Um, so 4 pairs, so Monday through Friday. Let's say my shift was Monday through Friday. By Thursday, I could have one of those pairs washed, and so I had a clean pair for Friday. So 4 pairs worked, and it wasn't too many pairs of jeans. And then, 5 would have been the perfect number or whatever. But then I was less inclined to do laundry. So 4 made me do laundry midweek, but 4 also meant that there's a possibility I could rewear one if I didn't get it dirty. So 4 just kind of became my magic number. And it still kind of works with my laundry routine. So I don't have to worry about doing laundry every day or every couple of days to have a pair of jeans to wear. I can go 3 days without having to wash. And on that 4th day, when I get into my last pair, if I'm not set on doing laundry, I can still wear leggings, but 4 pair gets me most of the days. Charlotte says, but my fiber equipment that's been neglected lately was pretty pricey. Yeah, I understand that too. It happens. It definitely happens. So I will say this. So one thing I did say earlier is that the pair that I'm in right now are my size. And I have 4 pairs in my current size. I also have 4 identical pairs in my size down. I think I've got 1, 2. I have at least 2 sizes down. I might have 3 sizes down. But I have 4 pairs of every size that I have been in the last 7 years. So, as long as I don't go up in size any more than I am, which I don't intend to, as long as I don't go up in size, I have jeans that I can wear no matter what size I am for the next probably 3 or 4 years. And because I didn't wear out the jeans that I had, I still have them, and they'll give me more than 4 years worth of wear. And I do wear them pretty hard. I mean, I do not care. My dog can jump on them. I can get mud all over them. I'm not fancy. I'm basically cowboy fancy. It's not. It's I could be going to Walmart, or I could be going to Target because of the way I dress. And Charlotte says the fiber equipment wasn't purchased at all at one time though. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. I mean, we always get into these hobbies and we think we're going to use it, and then we may or we may not. And you might use it for a little bit and then step away for a little bit. Katie says I own one purse. That purse was expensive because it's for traveling and can't cut. The rest of my time, my CC sits in my jacket pocket. Oh, credit card sits in your jacket pocket. Yeah, see, I would do that. I would totally do that. My wallet is a 2-part change purse thing that I made. I don't even use an expensive wallet. But I have had a couple of rounds where I have left things places, and if I do not have it on like a clip to clip onto my dog's leash or something like that, it's, I don't know. It's one of those that I have to have it in something, or I have to clip it to the dog's leash. Otherwise, I have left things in places and gotten over 50 miles away and had to go back. So I do have to be a little bit more cautious because of the way my brain works. I just do not remember to grab things like I should. Andrea says I went down from around 300 pounds to 170, so I had a clothes burning celebration. None were nice enough to donate. Well, I went from, I don't remember exactly what my highest weight was, but I went down about eh, 65, 70 pounds, something like that. And I have slowly over the years gained it back, but I'm not ballooning up any more than I was, prior to losing the weight. So I did lose a lot of weight, and I fit back into things I had not fit into since high school. But I did keep some of my clothes, so I did have to go back out and buy more as well because I didn't buy everything I need or didn't keep everything I needed. Katie says can't cut the strap. Oh, you can't cut. Okay, it was expensive because it's for traveling and you can't cut the strap. Okay, gotcha. Uh, Katie says I stopped wearing jeans 6 or 7 years ago because leggings are so much more comfortable and lightweight and doesn't cause pain. I understand that. I do. Um, and I will occasionally wear leggings because I'm in pain, but I don't. Jeans are actually my comfortable clothes. I don't consider them painful most of the time. Now, if they're tight, like if I started to wear a size down from what I'm in, then they would be tight and they would cause aggravation. They would cause pain. But I feel more confident in jeans. It's just kind of like a presentation thing when I was growing up and where I was growing up and my environment. It was frowned upon to wear leggings because they were considered um, not public clothes. So I didn't grow up with thinking in my brain that that was appropriate. So jeans kind of became a go to. Charlotte says, Andrea, that was a great reason to have a celebration. Congrats. Yes, I do agree. That is phenomenal. And I know you've shared that in a couple of other groups, and that I'm always excited by it. Katie also says, congratulations, Andrea. Joy says, that's awesome, Andrea. Congrats. And Andrea is saying, thanks, everyone. When I was diagnosed with diabetes and high blood pressure, I drastically changed my diet. Yes, that is a great instigator to get on the bandwagon and do what you might have been putting off for a while. Charlotte says, I prefer stretch jeans because of comfort and pockets. Yes. See, I can't do the stretch jeans because, and this may also be part of why I'm not a huge leggings person. I mean, I wear them, and I do and find them comfortable, but um, my jeans just are so much more comfortable than the stretch. Hi, Joey T. Glad you are here. Thank you for joining in the chat. Glad you could make it. We are just discussing clothes. We kind of got off on a tangent, but no worries. Now, I will say this in light of the clothing conversation. I do have a pattern and the fabric to make a dress. It is a salsa dancing dress. I when I got rid of all of my garment fabric and decided that I was going to go rogue and just go into quilting and kind of like transition everything over to just quilting, I got rid of all of my garment fabric and like I just gifted it. I donated it. So I had a huge tax write-off that year from the donation. Um, but I had a pattern cabinet that I had confiscated from Hancock Fabrics when they were closing down their operations. I had probably this entire shelf worth plus another identical shelf worth of garment fabrics, and none of it was necessarily enough to make an entire outfit. But some of it was just big enough for a blouse. Some of it was just big enough for a skirt. That kind of stuff. And I just gave it all away. I just decided that was not where I was going to go with my sewing, and I was just done. Andrew says, well, everyone, I have another live to support, so I'm going to leave, but it was awesome seeing you and chatting with you this evening. Thank you, Andrea. I am glad you were here. That was awesome. So I gave all that away because again, I wasn't going to be doing garment sewing. Everybody's saying bye to Andrea. No worries. And I kept the fabric to make this one dress, and I kept the pattern, and I kept all the notions and everything else with it because it is a shade of green. It is definitely a green. It is, yeah, there's no mistaking it. It is a green. But I decided I was going to keep one garment pattern for me to do, and whether or not I can ever wear the dress, that's immaterial. It's not necessarily an obligation that I have to be able to wear it. But I wanted to be able to have one garment pattern that I could make in the future that was a challenge for my skills. I can make everything from a wedding dress to a three-piece suit. I've made them. I've done it. I've done hand beading. I've done so much. So I know how to do a lot of it. But this one dress was going to be a skills test for me. And so I did keep that. I do have fabric and a pattern for a sweater that I've picked up recently. And I have fabric, and I will pick out a pattern for another blouse as well. So I do have a couple of garment things to do now that I did not intend originally to ever have to do. But that one dress I did keep. So I may pull that out within the next year to be able to put that together as well. And I know this is a quilting channel, but is that something you guys want to see? Katie says, have a great evening, Tammy. Going to catch Tiffany's live? Yes, absolutely. No worries. I figured Tiffany was probably going to live tonight, and I forgot about the timing. She is one of the first YouTubers that I got sectioned into watching. So I completely understand. I love her content. I love watching her patterns come to life. And her Sew Sundays are usually something that I do watch. So it wasn't intentional for me to schedule this on top of hers, but it happens. So, I've only got a few more of these to go. So once I get these done, that'll be it for today. Katie is saying y'all hit that thumbs up button to help Tammy's channel too. Yes, please, 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 please do that if you have not already. I do appreciate all the interaction because YouTube does count that. YouTube counts all the interactions and the chat because that really does show YouTube that you guys want this content and you want to see everything that's going on here. So I may not get through all these. I may be playing Thread Chicken here in a minute. I don't know if you guys can see it. Nope, it is just off camera. My thread is just off of camera. Chloe says, I am staying. Thank you, Chloe. I appreciate it. I did decide to cut these just, whatever length the largest pieces that I was cutting for the other was. And I will just trim off extra. Joy T says, I am staying too. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you. I don't want to say you have to. I completely understand. But I thank you. I love having the personal experience, you guys. Joyce says, not going anywhere. I can't always catch replay. Oh, that makes sense. What am I working on? I am working on Prismatic Star. And there is a link also in the description. Prismatic Star is a Quiltworks pattern. So I am working on, there we go. That's a bigger view of it. So there is a link in the description. It is putting everything together. Chloe says sewing strings with the kids. Ooh, that sounds like fun. I'm going to do a poll Tuesday night, and I will decide after the poll what pattern it's going to be. But I want everybody to kind of give me an input as to whether they want a fat quarter friendly or a jelly roll friendly quilt pattern as my next pattern that I publish. Oh, so pretty. Thank you. Oh, Joy T, we want to say you guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I keep the conversation light and airy enough that, nobody gets bogged down and, you know, I know life can be tough. I mean, life is tough here too. But if I can keep this all as light and joyful as possible, then you guys have a place to come watch sewing and quilting content without having to worry about what that content's going to be. Um, my music might be a little funky sometimes. My intro music might be funky. I like some funky music. Um, but the live is also going to be, you know, fairly straightforward. And let's see, can I do it? Can I do it? Which way is my bias? Okay, that is not my bias. Joy T, you do great, Tammy. Thank you. I I've got a lot of ideas coming up too. And so there's always stuff swirling around in my head. There's just not enough hours in the day to be on live all the time. My husband does exist, and he deserves just as much attention as everybody else. So, I do have to pay him a lot of attention as well. But I'm glad that you guys are here and hanging out. And can you really see what I'm working on at the machine? That is one question I did not ask earlier. If I'm blocking the view or you guys can't really see what I'm doing, let me know because I need to adjust cameras still. And I actually adjusted my machine earlier because I really felt cramped. So I moved it up a little bit so I wouldn't feel quite as cramped or pulled to one side or what have you. So just let me know if you can see it. So let's see, what all are we doing? Oh, Tuesday, we are also doing a reveal. So if you did not catch last Tuesday I put out a poll. It is still up. It will be up through Monday night at midnight. And Monday night at midnight is going to be updated. So you guys won't have the access to the poll anymore. You can't vote anymore. I have 4 patterns that are up for grabs as to what you guys want to see me work on. There is Aurora, which is a paper piecing pattern. There is Echoes, which is going to be done in purple batiks. It is a Jenny Beyer pattern. I've got what are the 2 others? Sparkle and I'm missing one. What is the other one? Sparkle's the Christmas one. It's Juicy Cactus. That's what it is. Juicy Cactus. Yes, can see you on machine. Awesome. Thank you, Joy T. Appreciate it. So we are going to do one of those. We're going to do one of those quilt kits. Whatever everyone has chosen. Tuesday will be the reveal. So Tuesday we get to find out what everybody chose. Cameras right now are really good. Thank you, Charlotte. Appreciate that. I try with the cameras. I try. Because I know when I go watch a content creator what I want to see. So that's what I'm trying to provide. If there's something that I think I would want to see, that's what I want to let everybody else see. So this is kind of my vision as to what I would see. Oh, I missed it. Well, you can go back. Once this live is done, if you want to go back and catch Tuesday night's live, it is, let me see what episode it is, you guys, because I do put episode numbers. So let me grab the episode number real quick. It is Tuesday night, episode 10. So if you go back to my lives, go to episode 10. There is a link below the description on episode 10 where you can go click the form, for which one you want to look at or which one you want to vote for. When you watch the video, it is one of the first things I talk about. I didn't make everybody watch 3/4 of the way through the video so you could see. So fairly up close to the front of the video is when you're going to see all 4 quilt kits. And I do show them up close and personal, as up close and personal as I could get with my setup in the studio right then. But I do show all 4 quilt kits and what goes into each one of them, so you guys can make a decision based off of that. And it is entirely user content voted. So whatever you guys choose is what I will do. I'm going to do all 4 of them eventually, but you guys are getting to vote on the first one, as to which one's going to be the first one. So I'm going to be working on that. Joy T says, I like to watch and learn everything, but maybe you want to learn paper piecing first. Awesome. But we'll look again at the episode. I think I already voted, but not sure. No worries. And if you have already voted, as Giovanna learned on Saturday, I know she might not be in the chat today, but Giovanna learned on Saturday, you can vote multiple times. Charlotte says, Tammy, you really have a great setup for all of us watching. We can see what you are doing. Thank you. And that's one thing we'll also go over Tuesday. I know people yesterday were saying they do want to see a tour, and so we will do a tour Tuesday night of the studio. So you guys will get to see what I've got it set up with and how. And one thing you'll hear me say again Tuesday night, a lot of my items for my studio are movable. So I don't necessarily go for the furniture that a lot of other people might go for. I know Becca has like this gorgeous, gorgeous table that her machine sits in, and she's got drawers and cabinets and things like that. And then she's got all those built-in shelves, and it's gorgeous and it works for her. However, I have moved 9 times in the last 7 years. Charlotte says I've got to go dinner time. Bye everyone. Bye Charlotte. Glad you were here. Chloe says yes to studio tour, please. Yes. So all of my furniture, with the exception of like one piece, is movable. So like when I go to move things around, even that one piece, well, if we count my design wall, I've got 2 pieces that really don't move very much. One is a thread rack, and the only reason it's not movable is because I do have to have it up against a wall. I can't put it anywhere but up against a wall. I did make it. So when we go to set up somewhere, I have to decide where it's going to go. And then the rest of my room gets organized after that thread rack goes in. And it's not that it's a bad piece of furniture, but it's just that it has to be attached to the wall because it has no structural stability to stand on its own. So it does have to go up against a wall. It cannot be a floating piece of furniture. And so once it goes in, especially in a rental, because we have to screw it into the wall, it will leave holes when we move it. So I really don't like moving it. I have moved it multiple times, but I don't like moving it because, again, holes in the wall, and I have to patch holes and paint them and all of that, and I really don't want to do that. So my thread rack does not move, and my design wall does not move. My design wall is movable. Like I can take it with me when I move out of this apartment, but it is going to have to go back up on a wall if I reuse it. It is actually poster boards that I have stretched flannel over, and we've attached those poster boards to the wall. So it's nothing fancy, but it is attached to the wall. And again, same problem as the thread rack. If I take it out, I'm going to have holes in the wall that I need to patch, or I'm going to feel like I need to patch. So it's going to stay where it's at until I move. Everything else in the room can move without that much of a hassle. I might leave a few holes from like artwork or things like that, but everything else in the room moves. So my sewing desk, I actually pack it and take it with me when I go on a retreat, or if I'm going to go for a long sew day, I will pack my sewing machine table. So my sewing machine comes out, and the table that I'm using today, so this white table and this acrylic insert, that all comes out, breaks down, and I take this table with me. So this machine stays here, but I have the adapters and the insert for my smaller machine. So I just take the table with me. My long arm, it has moved 3 times since I brought it home. So it has moved and shifted around. My shelving units, nothing is attached to the walls. So the unit behind me, the unit that my computer is sitting on that you guys are seeing me from, my other 2 little bookshelf pieces, those all move. They all go wherever I want them to go. So I can reorganize this however I like. Obviously within the bounds of the studio room that I've got. You know, I'm probably sewing this on the bias again. I am. I'm sewing it on the bias, you guys. I didn't mean to, but I am. So far I've got 3 that are sewn on the bias. So I'm just being careful. Trying not to sew on the bias, but oh well. It is what it is. But yeah, everything in here is movable. So I've reorganized this room 3 or 4 times lately. But moving out of the storage closet means that I had to reorganize it again because everything that was in the storage closet had to come into here or into the closet. And although it would all fit in the closet, I really wasn't happy with my last setup. So now I'm a lot happier with the setup. All right, so this set and 1 more. And these will be caught up. And I'll have to do pressing and starching and all of that. But I will do that off camera. Because there's not enough time in the day to make pressing all of this that interesting. I am going to press the strips in like I did last time. So they are not going to be... And of course I'm sewing on the bias again, you guys. I did it again. They're not going to be pressed towards the white. And the reason why is I do not want any shadow whatsoever. This wouldn't be super bad. Sorry, my vision, you guys, is the sensory overload stuff. So this would not be super bad. I guess I could actually press towards the white and I'd be able to get away with it. With the batik that I was using, I could not do that. I had to press the strips in, which also led to a little bit more of the stretching that we had with them. So maybe this time they will be correct all the way around and I don't have to worry about them being off or skewed or anything like that. So we are going to see. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to go back to the no hugging. My sensory overload is on fire. And if you guys have noticed, I normally don't wear sweatshirts. I don't wear anything with long sleeves normally in here because I do overheat quickly. But I'm wearing them today because, again, sensory overload. So it is real. It is a thing. It is part of the fibromyalgia. But we can power through, right? I have caffeine. Caffeine's going to help me. All right. So last one. And we are going to make sure that we sew it the correct direction. All right. So here's one thing I'm going to show you guys. This is the last one. And it's the only one that's been this bad. So let's see if I can make this visible for you guys. This strip is not level or even. It is not at all. It is wonky as can be. Let me bring it over to the cutting table and let me show you guys. All right. So I'm going to pull this over for the lines, not for the measurements. I normally would not do this, but let's see. All right. So this red line right here, or this teal, is lined up down here. It is about 1/2 inch off up here. So what I'm going to do when I line my strip up, because I'm not going to trim this, because I don't want to have trimmed it in case I have to fix it again. So when I line my strip up, I will line it up just a little bit over down here, but I'm going to let the extra hang over. I'm not going to fix it for right now, okay? So that is one thing I'm going to do differently on this one piece. It's the only one I'm having to do it for, okay? So, all right, you guys are probably seeing the visual disturbance with that camera. Let me get you guys back off that camera. I've got to fix that one. I think I know what the problem is, but I'm going to have to do a little bit of trial and error. I think it's my USB cord. So we're going to see if I can get it fixed. And if not, we will go the route of a different camera. We will find a way to make it happen. I do have a tablet that I can use as a camera, and it doesn't require the USB cord, so that might be the route I go next. So, gotta love it. All right. So, let's bring this over. I'll show you guys. All right. So, you can see over here, I do have a little bit of extra on the purple. When I go to flip this over, that purple will show through. The white was not going to show through, but the purple will. I don't know how well. There we go. So it is showing through there. So I'm going to leave it for now. And what I will do is when I get done sewing all 4 sides, and I have put all of this together and it comes together the way it's supposed to, I will go back in and I will trim any parts where you can see like any kind of shadowing. Let's see. I'm sorry, the visual disturbance. Those blocks are so pretty. Are they hard to make? They are not, actually. So Joy T, this is a Quiltworks pattern. And the instructions for my copy of the pattern, which is prior to 2018, were a little confusing, but they're not hard. So it was a matter of laying your jelly roll strips on the paper piecing, sewing on the line, and then flipping. So it wasn't hard, but it was definitely, at least until I got the hang of this particular pattern, it was a little confusing. All right, I've got all that done. I want to bring you guys off the machine, and I'm also going to make the chat larger so I can see it a little bit better if I can. Oh, because I am definitely having a little bit of trouble. There we go. I can see that a little bit better. Okay, yeah. I'm not going to stay on here much longer, you guys. The fibromyalgia is getting me today. It is definitely getting me today. But yeah, so Tuesday we've got 3 things coming up. We're going to do a studio tour. We are going to do a vote on whether you want a fat quarter friendly quilt pattern or whether you want a jelly roll friendly pattern. And you can do whether you do a fat quarter friendly pattern or whether you do the jelly roll friendly pattern, whichever one you guys choose. It doesn't have to be a purchased fat quarter bundle or a purchased jelly roll pack. I will write the instructions so you could do either if you don't have scraps to do it with. All of my patterns, or all of these patterns are going to be from scraps. I may give you a little bit higher yardage than what you would actually need for making it, but you'll have some extra. 5 p.m. Mountain Time, Joy T. My Tuesdays are going to be pretty set. I'm not going to adjust them any, so we're looking at 5 p.m. Tuesday night. Starting in June, I am going to set a time for at least 1 weekly live stream where I am sewing. It will probably be on either Saturday or Sunday. I'm kind of leaning towards Sunday, just because it tends to be a lazier day around here. But I'm not quite sure yet. So I am still toying with that idea. as to what's going to be my better option. But so we're going to do a tour. We're going to do the poll on um, which pattern you guys would rather me release. Would you rather have a fat quarter friendly pattern or a jelly roll friendly pattern? And I will do those live just like I did the Irish chain with the twist baby quilt. So we will make a quilt in about 4 lives. That's what I'm aiming for. I want them to be able to be a small series, mini series. I loved releasing that pattern. That was so much fun for me. Writing the pattern after I did everything was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. However, because I'm expecting you guys to watch the videos to go with it, it makes a lot more sense. You can't just get the pattern without watching the videos because it won't make a whole lot of sense. So I am writing it with that in mind. That's not how my temperature quilt pattern will be released. I am behind schedule on the temperature quilt pattern just because things kind of shifted and twisted here. But I am getting back on that. Joy T changed my calendar, had you down for 7 p.m. What time zone are you in, Joy T? I am in Mountain Time. So if you are catching me in Eastern Time, it is 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So that it just depends on what time zone you're in. I am in Casper, Wyoming, which we are Mountain Time, and we do change time with the daylight savings time. So we do still have that. Let's see. So we're doing the poll. We're doing the tour. We are also going to release your Eastern time. Okay, so you are right. 7 p.m. Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time, is my live time on Tuesday nights because I am Mountain Time. We are going to do the changing back. It's so funny. Dre says I have a lot of fat quarters, no jelly rolls. Well, I have a lot of fat quarters. both of these shelves are nothing but fat quarters. So I'm game for either one. I do have jelly roll strips. They are on shelves up here that you can't see. Plus, I have more jelly rolls that I still haven't moved over. So I do have a lot of jelly roll strips as well. So that's why I'm offering either option. So we're going to do that vote on Tuesday night. We are going to also reveal which quilt pattern I will be working on. And I can't get to all 4 of them. Like, I can see them. I can get all 4 quilt kits out, but I can't necessarily pull up the papers for each one because some of them are stacked on top of each other. So we will reveal which quilt kit I'm going to start working on. I will also re-show the UFO I'm going to start working on, and that will be recorded videos. So the embroidery UFO that I'll be working on is going to be recorded. It's going to be a couple of different parts because I'm going to do embroidery in one part or 2 or 3, you know, how many ever times it takes me to do the embroidery. I am going to speed those up so you're not sitting there watching, 4 hours for embroidering, a small block because I kept leaving the machine and didn't come back. So I'm going to shorten that out so you guys aren't going to be super bored watching those. But then the quilt kit, that will be lives, and then whatever pattern you guys want, that will also be lives. I also have a couple of other things in the works. I've just got to get time to do them. So yeah, we are working towards it. So I'm going to get off here, you guys. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. I will see you all Tuesday evening. I look forward to it. I am super stoked. I cannot wait to see what you guys have picked for me. If you have not voted for the quilt kit for me to open and to start working on, go visit episode 10 and go look at the options and click the link to vote. You have until tomorrow evening. Midnight Mountain Standard Time is when I'm changing it off. So don't forget to vote and have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you all back here on Tuesday. Dawn's saying, have a good evening, all. And Glenda is saying, have a wonderful night, everyone.